ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ ਜੀ ਆਇਆਂ ਨੂੰ welcome everyone to this new series of Muscat Live, the Sangat Live, every day 7:30 p.m. this week, and this is your first of the series. With today we are starting with, as you can see, tomorrow we have Charanveer Singh. Okay, there is Kuljit Paji. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Paji, how have you been doing?
I'm really good, thank you. Maharaj Sahib ki kripa. Better now going to darshan.
Vaheguru. Brilliant, Paji. So, we shall start straight away with the special Q&A, question and answers that the Sangat have even started pouring in now. So let's start on it right away. Do you have anything to say before we want to start answering the question answer?
Just say Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh to everyone. It's good to be back again on a Muscat Live. ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ. I can see a lot of people signing in, giving their darshan. So yeah, just a pangti that's come in my mind that we don't really know anything in terms of Bani, Gyan, Itihas or anything like that. But Maharaj Kirpa Karke Karalan and get whatever they need to answer. They can answer themselves through us, but if anything, I'll apologize in advance. If anything comes from my own mat, then I apologize for that in advance. हमारे से कोट पराधी तरया रे है ना मैं मूर्खी केतक बात है कोट पराधी तरया रे कि there's thousands millions of murks like us across the universe in a way. So पर महाराज दी कृपा नाल people who've done paraads, who've physically done pop, they can be saved. So that's all we ask for really from the Sangat. We can be saved somehow. Get back on the Sangat.
Amazing, Paji. So let's get cracking. And the first question for tonight we have is how to deal with the pressures of the society. So this is the first one which came in. So it's about pressures people feel from their peers or in the society.
I think the first thing is, I think what is quite a broad question in terms of pressure, the word pressure, because each one of us feel pressure in different ways and experience pressure, or we might say stress in different ways. You can hear me all right, can't you?
Ji, Paji.
Clear. Okay. Yeah. So, in terms of pressure, I would define that as an element of stress in some way, shape, or form from society, whether it's to conform to society or whether it's to kind of like a pressure to even get away from society, but not feeling as if we can get away enough. In this period of time that we've just been in, Guru Sahib has done kirpa and probably released a lot of pressure, like in individuals. Okay, we've had time within our own families to sit down, focus, and do nitnem and maybe do kirtan together as family. Do those things that bring bliss and joy to us. The small things that perhaps we'd forgotten. Even taking a paintbrush out with doing painting, maybe coloring with someone, with the kids, or little things like that that bring bliss back into our lives again. If it's about general pressure in terms of conforming to individuals, the only thing that can give us thorn and give us strength to get away from pressures of society is, I saw one quote that had been bandied about on a lot of statuses straight after the coronavirus lockdown was announced, probably worldwide. And the quote was, if you can't go outside, go inside. And I think internally, every single person, every individual in the world has got some sort of ability to maintain or come to some sort of peace within themselves. So the answer is, I guess, to deal with the pressures of conformity to society is, if you don't have no vas, if you have no control of externally, what you might have control over is yourself. That's the one thing that we can only work on. If we work on that, then Maharaj, everything else will fall into place. Je apne aap te si control rakhde hain within ourselves, have that peace within ourselves, then everything else will fall in place, no doubt.
Paji, this reminds me of the Pankti we read every day in the morning in Japji Sahib, Man Jeet hai Jagjeet.
Hanji. Bilkul. And I think that's another thing, Jida, there's a difference between man and mat. Mat is like, we say it in Ardas as well, we hear it. Man niva matuchi. Man niva matuchi. Man jad niva hunda hai, when our mind is down, it conforms to society. It conforms to laziness. It conforms to lack of motivation, whatever. That's where we're subservient to our man. We live with our man and whatever his devices are. But the opposite to that is mat uchi. Mat uchi is like, there must be some aspect of the way our brain works that is ultimately positive at all times. And we know that is the case because there's something that is always telling us, I'm down, or I don't feel well, or I'm feeling this pressure. If something is telling us that we're feeling pressure, then that might be a much higher level. It can see us feeling pressure, but that is a higher level in our mind somewhere. It's somewhere there. Or matuchi wali gal hai na, it's a form of processing in our mind which is higher than any other thing, which is actually telling us that we're unwell. But if it's telling us that we're unwell, then that aspect of our mind must be really well, because you need something that is repaired to be able to see something that's disrepaired within ourselves. So I guess what it is that we have to pashan those moments. And I guess when we do the live, when we're doing Muscat live, when we're doing these kind of live get-togethers over this whole week, it's a chance to do Sangat and share positivity, share a positive mindset, so that we can understand or we can process things in a more positive light. So I don't know. I think this period of time has had a lot of positivities for me, from where I'm thinking. But generally, I'm quite a positive person, and I like to delve on the positive more. So I guess matuchi rakhani pendi hai. We have to kind of delve into how to see something at a more loftier point, and we can use Barney, we can do Simran to help us with that. No doubt, we can give thanks enough for what we have got already. Yeah.
Definitely, Paji, and this takes us to our next question. We read this quote that which says, "Books are your best friends," and your best friends help you in keeping alive and kicking at times. So the next question is, what Sikhi books would you recommend to read?
Obviously, we wouldn't refer to Maharaj as a book, but Bani in itself, reading Bani in itself is a powerful investment. So I think that's the best kind of starting point as such in terms of literature or prose from Bani. Bade Baba Ji, Baba Gurbakh Singh Ji always kind of suggest that they always tell us a bachan that Sant Singh Ji Mastwan Wali used to say that if a person is feeling sluggish or lazy or demotivated, then they should read Slok Malla Nama, the Bani of Slok Malla Nama, just to read it. Because Bani has got like a what we call a paras effect. A paras effect is where it's gold itself, but then it transforms others to gold as well. It brings them to the same level. So in other words, even though we might not understand the Bani, it kind of transforms it. It makes us feel peaceful because it has that power. It's energized. ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਨਾਲ ਮੈਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ, I can see you, Taranjit Singh, and I know that you've had such a positive day today. And like you feel like you make me feel as if that you've done kirtan today or listened to kirtan today or something or another. Like you can tell that there's something nice and positive about you. Because in Gursikhs, obviously kirtan te paath ਅਸੀਂ ਬਾਣੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਦੇ ਹੀ ਹਾਂ, and it has its effect. But then your bol chal and the way your conduct is, your body language is telling me something else, your aura is telling me something else, but your bol chal is telling me something else. Like, so similarly, when we read Bani, it also makes us feel calm, even though we might not understand it, we might be reciting it. And Slok Malanama, particularly, according to Sant Atar Singh Mastawana Wale, they definitely say is something that removes anxiety and makes you remotivated again. In terms of literature books about Sikhi, the best books that I've read, the very first book that I picked up about Gursikhi, and obviously Maharaj will make you pick up the book that you need to get the gyan that you need to. We can get gyan from anything. I'm currently in the corner of my room, I've got like Chronicles of Narnia, a little pack of books, Chronicles of Narnia. But like, if you want inspiration about spirituality, the very first book that I picked up was, and I read like with focus, was selected hymns of Bhai Gurdas Ji in English by Dr. Gobind Singh Mansukhani. And that book was really powerful because, and in particular, when I read it, there were sakhis in there which talked about saints, talked about different Gursikhs and what they'd done. And their works had been written down by, or their lifestyle had been written down by Gurdas Ji. And it was in English, it was like, not proper English, but like it was written in English, and it was enough for me to understand the greatness of Guru Sahib Ji. That really allured me, brought me, made me understood some philosophies of Sikhi that probably I'd forgotten when I was younger, or probably didn't understand or didn't have gyan of. So I would say that book is a good starting point. Afterwards, there's two very good books that I would recommend. One is a book, I think it's called Divine Revelations, by Sant Niranjan Singh from Malaysia. And they're from Malaysia. And originally they're from Patiala, Sant Niranjan Singh Ji. And they were Katha Vachik themselves. They used to do Katha themselves. It's written in English. And it's an amazing book. It breaks down every aspect of Gursikhi, like Seva, Sangat, Simran, all the different attributes of what Guru is and so forth in English. And I found that very useful. The second one that obviously changed my life completely was Se Kaneha by Santarnam Singh Ji's Sevak, Baba Seva Singh Ji. And those three books, I think, for me, were life changers. In Punjabi, if you are a Punjabi reader, anything written by Dr. Paivir Singh is amazing. Anything. I'd suggest that they are on top of literally, their ability to capture Guru Sahib Ji and have devotion for Guru Sahib Ji in their writing is amazing. So Paivir Singh Ji's books are amazing. One in particular that I really found useful was Santagatha. Santagatha is like a collection of Jeevanis or Mahapurush that we don't ever, not many times might have heard of. But it's got their Jeevanis in it, and it's really powerful read. Another one that they wrote was Gurmukh Pyare in Punjabi, which was a series of letters that people would write to Dr. Paivir Singh to ask. It was like question and answer, basically. They would ask questions from Dr. Paivir Singh Ji. and he would give them jawab or about spiritual matters. It was quite a powerful read. There's quite a few of his books like that. Another book is a granth called Pachmi Prakash, the Jeevan of Sant Karam Singh Ji Hoti Mardan Wale. That is such a any book of a Mahapurush is worth reading. Any book about their Jeevani, because Padani from their Kamai and therefore from their Simran, you might just get transformed. Your life gets transformed in some way, shape, or form. So they are really powerful books that I recommend. That I remember reading.
Yes, it's beautiful, Paji. How I want to resonate on the couple of writings Abdi mentioned. One is by Veer Singh. I would say by Veer Singh's writing, his letters, is actually a compilation called Pyare Jio. The letters to people they have responded to. It has brought a very positive change to my life. And one of the subset of those letters is about death. Like if someone in your life has passed away, how do you cope up with that loss? And how beautifully they explain to people who have lost their young child, who have lost their wife, who have lost their mother and father, how beautifully they explain. And I would say, like you also mentioned about Pai Gurdas Ji, no doubt their writings are called the Kunji of Gurbani, or the key to Gurbani, and beautifully they also, like Abji mentioned, brought the understanding of Gurbani once again. They refreshed the understanding of Gurbani. So it's very beautiful. And Sangat Ji, who are watching live, please keep your questions coming in as we go through the next one. So if anything is popping up in your mind while we discuss and talk about these burning issues in people's mind, you can drop a comment. And we completely understand some of you might not be feeling asking questions publicly. Do feel free to leave a note in a personal message to us. Right, so it's time to go to the next question. Paji, so since a lot of Sangat have been following Abdi's updates since Abdi have moved to India, so they want to know in a nutshell, what kind of sevas in India are Abdi doing?
At the moment, obviously with lockdown, apart from we're doing like a mini camp at the moment within our own, within the family. The kids, Jeevan, Sundar and Harsuk Singh, plus the Chittar Singh, they do like a camp in the afternoon where we have like sports, we have fitness. You may also remember that Action Corps and Mandeep Singh are also in India with us, and they hold a session each with the kids. And my seva at the moment is just we're working on Japji Sahib for families. It's like an explanation of Japji Sahib in very simple form with sakis so that families can understand. Hopefully it'll be coming out soon with Muscat. That's one aspect of it. When the lockdown obviously was not on, our activities were based around doing camps, meeting with the local representatives in villages like the sarpanches or the Gurdwara reps, Gurdwara Prabandhaks, and organizing camp day. And then leading up to a camp, maybe 2-3 weeks afterwards, it was basically planning the camp, getting resources together, getting the team together, and then going out and doing camps in villages. To this date, we've done quite a few camps in our local vicinity, so the local villages around us, probably a radius of about max 20 kilometers. And then every Saturday, the very first camp of the series that we did was a place called Gorthari. Gorthari is about 50 kilometers away from here, 50, 60 kilometers. And Gorthari, actually, the name of the village, I was quite intrigued when we went there. we asked the villagers about Gurthari and why is it called that. Because I thought it meant Gur as in Guru's Thari, as in the sense that they're a place where they sat maybe. But actually it was Gord as in the Jaggery that you call it. Gurthari was where Guru Sahib had actually come to that area and had walked through the village and had told the Sangat they were giving Gord out as mitha to Sangat. And at first, the people of that area didn't want the Gord. Like they felt, oh, who's this person giving Gord out? Who's this? But when they realized that Guru Sahib was Guru Sahib, Dasme Pasha Ji, and Maharaj had gone on, then they chased after Sangat, after Maharaj to get the Gord from Maharaj. They wanted the mitha from Maharaj. Obviously, this is the amazing thing about Guru Sahib Ji, that the way they did Prachar, Guru Sahib Ji, was so unique. Like we spend so much time trying to do joining people in different ways. Bani de arsanat, Maharaj did with Gur, like Gur Shika ki karta kirpa karti sangtan te. Like in the sense that when the people came chasing for the Gur, there was none left. The Sangat had taken it over. They were na pe gaya Gur thadi, in the sense that it thod gaya si Gur, i.e. that there was not enough Gur left for them. Initially, they hadn't listened to Maharaj and taken what they needed. And that place, Maharaj Kirpanal, it was the first camp we did there. We had about 80, 90 children who turned up. And then with Guru Sahib's Kirpa, they requested a camp every weekend. So we started to do a camp there every weekend, every Saturday evening. And every week, there's about 40 to 50 children, Greeb bache. And when I say Greeb, like we saw that some of the children were wearing the same clothes for many weeks, and we took Panji Jasneet Kaur suggested that we've got some clothes, some kids' clothes. Why don't we take them? So we took like some of the clothes to them, and you should have seen their faces. They were like so grateful, like that feeling of gratitude. And then since that time, they've only been wearing that clothing, which is amazing. But like, it shows the kind of love. And then we do raras with them. After doing raras, we do games. Then we share sakhi. We play like little quizzes with them about Sikhi. Then we do raras together, arati together, do ardas benti. Then we just encourage them to turn up. And Maharaj Kirpa now, we had about 40 to 50 children turning up there regularly. Because of the lockdown now, it's been very difficult. We were thinking like of Dr. Babaji was suggesting that perhaps we get hold of some sort of like iPads or something that we can take to the villages, and then they can sign in and have a regular kind of like session. But because they're so greedy, the difficulty is that obviously broadband and Wi-Fi is very difficult to get hold of, and everything here is based on data. So yeah, that's literally what we've been doing. The other thing is we're working on at the moment is obviously Muscat, because we're trustees of Muscat as well. We've been working on behind the scenes. A lot of hard work is going in there, so a lot of admin work going in with Guru Sahib's Kirpa. We've been working on some of the projects to do with the animations, with Mata Sahib Kaur, with motherhood as well. So all in all, we've been doing a mixture of things alongside obviously the day-to-day seva as well that happens at the Gurukar, and helping out with opening doors with Sukhasan and so forth. Like they're the regular things that you get on with. But we've been very fortunate to have Maharaj's darshan every day. Very, very fortunate. Very grateful as well. The Guru Sahib ne sanu sama bakshiya hoya. We can do darshan of Sangat as well in the UK like yourselves. That's a blessing in itself as well.
Right, it's brilliant, Paji. At this time of the life, I would say, not the year, when Sangat are not tarle for having darshan of Maharaj, they are yearning for having darshan of Maharaj in a physical form at the Gurukar, and Aapji are so fortunate of being in there and having being able to listen to Maharaj Bani and having Pratak Darshan every day is literally so amazing, Paji. And
it is the daya of Mahapurushana that we can even do that. Guru Sahib is there that we've got the opportunity to do that. Bina daya to, bina compassion to, you can't even attend Sangat without compassion. Maharaj is daya. And the fact that we can do it online, that's amazing. Actually, this is the nishana that Maharaj wanted. Ki ghar vich dharamsal hoye, like that. In each and every home, there's a place of religious learning. In effect, is Maharaj's hukum. That there's so much positivity amongst the negativity as well.
So as Paji you talk about negativity, we have this lovely question from Sukhraj Singh from Otbi, little Chartikala Singh, who wants to know, and this actually ties up with our previous discussion, but if Aapji can keep this a bit tailored to the young minds for children. So he wants to know, how can you keep your mind positive?
How to keep the mind positive?
Yeah.
Watch animation, seek animation. Watch Paitaru Singh Ji, the film called Paitaru Singh Ji, on animation.
Yeah, it's a lovely movie by Vismad. I mean, I remember I was in the premiere of the movie in Delhi. I literally had tears rolling my eyes in every shabad, every song going on in the movie. We were like singing along. I have those vibes alive in me yet. And definitely watching Sikh Itihas presented in a beautiful way is a way to keep your minds and hearts strong to face anything.
I think the key is, the reason why I say that is, I'm not sure how old Sukhraj Singh is, but like, the reason I say it is because animation has got such a powerful effect on young minds. There's a lot of research to suggest that a child will it's apna Sukhraj.
Yeah.
No. Sukhraj Singh watch Paitaru Singh Ji. And then once you watched it, then try to copy the shabd that they sang in it.
Yeah, he's 9 years old so yeah, lovely that he's watching the talk and taking laha of it, taking benefits of this.
We went to Gravesend in the UK. We were standing outside at the bottom of the stairs with a stall, motherhood stall. What happened was this family came up to us, and the lady, the mother, she was really overwhelmed, and she gave so much asisa that this is a great seva. And I said to her, there was a little kid standing next to her wearing a damalla, and I said to her, why you tusi ta bahut cha naal keh rahe hain na, this is such a good idea. What's the reason? Tell me the reason. And she turned around and said, it's because of animation. Char Sahibzade, they mentioned the film at Char Sahibzade, that we got Sikhi in our house. And I said, how's that? Tell me. And she said, their son, he watched Char Sahibzade, and it became a continuous thing that he wouldn't get away from the screen by watching it. And what he did, he memorized every single shabd, or every single, even some of the dialogue that was happening, he began to memorize it. And before you knew it, she said that he began to do kirtan every evening and saying, Char Sahibzade kirtan karde ya, why don't we do kirtan ever? Why don't we do kirtan? And then the house, they weren't into Sikhi at all. Every day, just by him sitting to do kirtan, they got into Sikhi. And the amazing thing is then he started to call his cousins and his relatives. It's sach di gal hai, I'm not making it up. Jehdi sach gal hundi ya, they have these transformations, or true transformations, you can bring revolution in people's homes and hearts. He then began to ring his cousins and say, okay, why don't you sit down and do kirtan in the evening? And I remember that kid's story so well, because just to get inspiration, the aim is ultimately to jod with Bani and Simran and Kirtan. But the way we jod, that is unlimited. वो तो है ना अनेक विधि समझाओ महाराज कहते ने कि महाराज can make us learn in infinite ways. ते बच्चियां ਨੂੰ there's a need for imagination in some way, shape or form, some way to kind of jod in some way to make them feel a part of the journey. But hopefully that answers this question, and for parents as well.
Yeah, Paji, this is so true. This is true. I mean, our kids, when they, I feel so happy when they don't want to dress like the pirates. They don't want to dress like the worldly characters we see in the cartoons. They want to dress up like the Singhs who fought in the battles. They want to dress up like Havaldar Ishal Singh of Battle of Saragari. I mean, that's the kind of games they play, and this is a long-lasting effect of the movies they watch. If they are coming from the Sikh history, the Sikh animation movies, that's the teaching for life that they are taking away from it. So a very nice way of carrying the positivity alive and keeping the positive vibes.
What amazing thing is as well, like if they don't watch it, what else are they going to watch?
True.
What else are they going to watch? You know, what other films are they going to watch? You can take gyan from other things as well, but in terms of if we've got something that belongs to us and it's our own homes, then why not use it? Anna? Why not make use of that?
Yeah, and to reach the state when you take gyan from other things as well, you need to have that kind of foundation. And to have that kind of foundation, you really need to watch the Sikh history movies first. Only then you can find the brighter sides of whatever else you watch in your life.
Definitely.
So the next question has come in. This is a bit more on the higher side. How to deal with rajogun, tamogun, and satogun? Many want a simpler life, but how can we really achieve it living in the West?
Really difficult question. Just for the purpose of people who don't understand what that question is, because there might be people who don't understand what rajogun, tamogun, satogun is. Rajogun is basically we all have moods. We all have like feelings and emotions. And our emotions will run our life for us as such. So when you're in like a rajogun type state, you tend to be really kind of like relaxed, like almost like a royal type mentality. Lazy bhi keh sakde hain. If you're in a tamogun state, you'll probably be more angry. If you're in a krodhit state, if you're in a satogun state, you're more likely to be calm, but want honor for your humility and your good deeds and your good qualities. So all three of these, we have to kind of strive to get out of them and get to something called the fourth state. What we in Gurmat is called Turiyapad, or the fourth state. But the most sokha way and the most easiest way to get out, that's the kind of difficult gyan bit. I've made it very simple. There's more to it than that. But like to get to the top and to get out of this rajogun, tamogun and satogun, Maya type state, there's only one way to get away from that, and that is gratitude. Giving thanks. If you look at the life of Mahapurush, if you look at the life of Gurmukhs who spent their life doing Simran, their essence of their life is total gratitude and praise. With that total gratitude will come contentment, a sense of contentment. Ki Maharaj ne mainu bahut kuch ditta ya. If you think about it practically, jida corona vich we've lost so many Gurmukh pyare in our sangat. Yeah. or in our, even in the UK Sangat, across the world, internationally, बहुत Gursikh who've passed away. But what did they leave us? What gems did they leave us? What practical things did they teach us? What do we learn from their lives? You know, how much positivity is there in the world, even though coronavirus is going on in the world, like environment thought, if you think of life is always going to be, there's always going to be a negative aspect and there's always going to be a positive aspect, always. Maharaj says in Bani, Sukhiye ko pekha sab sukhiya, rogi ke paane sab rogi. Okay? A person who's sukhi in the sense who's always living in gratitude or giving thanks, that person will always see things in a positive light. But jira banda rogi in the sense never gives thanks, is not grateful for anything, no sense of appreciation. Je kuch sada kisne kita, oda vi nahi gratitude ditta, Parmeshwar da vi kade thanks nahi kita, then that person rogi ke paane sab rogi, then they're going to be seeing everything in a diseased way, in an egotistical way. So I guess the answer is, look, it doesn't mean here ke je banda sada hun sade gharon koi, if somebody's run away from our home, kudi koi bhaj gayi ya ja koi munda ja whatever, if they've disappeared, that we start giving thanks to Vaheguru and said, yeah, Maharaj tenu bahut dhanwad ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ. It means that living in the then you probably do ardas benti, but like in this overall, the overall baseline that we should all have is a sense of ultimate gratitude to Vaheguru. कि महाराज जी तुसीं बहुत दिता है सानू, बहुत कुछ दिता है, ते ओहदा धन्नवाद. महाराज कहंदे ने 10 वस्तु ले पाछे पावै, एक वस्त कारण बिखोट गवावै. Maharaj says कि like we disregard the 10 amazing things Maharaj has already given us by chasing the one thing that we probably not, it's not even gonna come to us, or is not hukum for it to come to us either. But ਉਹ 10 ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਭੁਲਾ ਬੈਠਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਉਹਦਾ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ. We don't do ਧੰਨਵਾਦ of those 10 things. So just to kind of reiterate, how do we get out of Rajo, Tamo, Satogun, which is a very difficult question, is to strive to be in a state of gratitude. That's the key. And Vibhaji Maharaj, one thing that you might have seen regularly, or quotes from Sewala Sahib, which say Vibhaji's Amolak Bachan. And those Amolak Bachans are powerful, very, very powerful. And we should acknowledge them as they're actually talking to us directly. Gratitude which means Parmeshwar da ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ. We don't know what Maharaj has given us, is going to give us. ਜੋ Maharaj ਨੇ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਹੈ, ਹੁਕਮ ਰਜਾਈ ਚੱਲਣਾ, ਨਾਨਕ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਨਾਲ. We bring an element of karma with us, which is already written for us, and we should just accept it. If we accept it, whatever Maharaj has written for us, then ਹੁਕਮ ਰਜਾਈ ਚੱਲਣਾ, ਨਾਨਕ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਨਾਲ. ਜਿਹੜਾ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ already, there's different types of karma, but there's certain karma that are already written for us, already chosen for us in this janam, good or bad. Some people have it all good, some people have it all bad, some people got a mixture of good or bad. But we should always give gratitude for whatever we have. But the pata nahi ki Maharaj ne kis pakhon, what Maharaj is going to give us, how they're going to make us see positive. Even the state of Chardi Kala is that state of gratitude, total gratitude to Maharaj at all times. Look at the Shahid Singh and the Jivan, Singhni and the Jivan. Look at the state of Chardi Kala, or gratitude, that those Gursikh Matawa must have had when their kids were being chopped in front of them and necklaces put around their heads, and yet they didn't give up their Sikhi. That gratitude to Guru Gobind Singh Ji for Swas, that gratitude to be even sitting in that spot, experiencing that, we can never imagine. But oh, gratitude hi karke Maharaj di mehr hoyi, and gratitude karke we remember them in Lardas.
Paji, since Sabji mentioned Parveer Singh Ji in the beginning of the talk, it reminds me of a beautiful quotation by Parveer Singh Ji. Says, "Shakkar vangu shukkar mithra par karno kyun chakiye." Is basically thankful. Being thankful is as sweet as sugar, but why do you hesitate to be thankful?
Anji, bilkul. And you think about it, I was thinking about it as well. Okay, actually, मैं कितना धन्यवाद करदा हां महाराज जी दा कदे नहीं करदा you know one form of ਧੰਨਵਾਦ is कि चल ठीक है महाराज ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਵਾਸ ਨੇ it's your breath ਜਦ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੱਢਨੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਉਦੋਂ ਤੱਕ we'll just carry on doing the praise as much as possible. That's one way of looking at it. Another way of looking at it is on a physical aspect in ardas. You know how often do we actually say महाराज बहुत ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ महाराज ਬਹੁਤ ਕੁਝ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਬੱਚੇ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਆ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਹੈਗੇ ਦੁੱਖ ਵੀ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਆ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਦੁੱਖ ਆ ਇੱਕ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿਹੜਾ ਦੁੱਖ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਤੋਂ ਚੇਂਜ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਦੂਰ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਆ and that was the ultimate form of thanks. There's no words in a way, you can't state it enough. Gratitude which रहना चाहिए as much as possible.
And this also reminds me, in my college days, I used to listen to Gyani Sant Singh Ji Maskeen. So they used to do katha when I was in Delhi. Before going to college, I used to listen to him. And one thing which has really helped me in my life, he stated, when you want to be thankful for what you have, you want to be satiated, you look at someone who doesn't have, who has lesser than you in his life. If you are always looking at someone who has more worldly things than you will always be chasing for those things. So linking this back to the rajogun, tamogun, and satogun, I think if you look at someone who doesn't have what you have, and you will be automatically be thankful for what you have, and this really helps a long way.
It's very profound, and I guess that's another thing in itself. Okay, to get that positive, because somebody mentioned about acceptance and how difficult it is. Listening to katha regularly will lift you. Maharaj, I've said this many times in katha, but the actual akhri arth, the meaning of the word katha, is a place of sukh, the place of gratitude, place of thanks. Well, Maharaj takes you to that place. So, Par Brahm Hoa Sahai Katha Kirtan Sukhdai. Kirtan gives us bliss. Katha takes us to that. And jiri cheez ya, jiri hon assi kar rahe hain vichar, this is such an important part of our lives. This should be an important part of our lives. In the past, Buzurg to Bacha used to sit in rooms and talk and discuss these kind of things on a regular basis. This Tan Siriman Siri coronavirus ji has given us the chance to sit in our families and actually establish those links again and discuss with our families and talk and communicate a bit more. Okay, until we don't do that, it's not going to disappear. The anxiety, stress. Actually, talking together is a form of therapy, isn't it? पता नहीं केड़ा anxiety दूर हो जाती है just to somebody ask you कितना तेरा दिन कितना सी पुता आज, how was your day today? We should do that with our children as well.
Definitely a brilliant example how to look at the brighter side of the coronavirus situation.
I was actually, I'm not being, it's a funny thing, but Corona was actually a saint, a Christian saint of disease. It was a female Christian, research it on internet. Corona was a name given to a female saint who used to save people from diseases. I don't know how she got named with this virus, but back in the days when we were younger, Corona was also a fizzy pop drink. It was a company that would give would distribute fizzy pop to people's doors. But anyway, I don't know if anyone remembers that.
Right. Okay. So from a very high level question, we dive in straight into something which is a day-to-day practical life question. So it goes on like, Does Nitnem have to be 7 specific baniya at a certain time of the day? If Sikhi is a lifestyle, why are there rules to Nitnem? Or have just made Sikhi strict through the years?
I think, first of all, depending on where you are in your Sikhi, at first you always start with 1 or 2 banis. It's not instantly ke sat bani. Even when we came to Sikhi, we were just starting reading Reras again after a long time, or doing Kirtan Sola before sleeping. It's just the small banis first, the easier banis first. We've got rules for everything, haven't we, though? Bus ch baithde hain, ticket lena penda hai, oh bhi rule hai. You know, like going to the bathroom, brushing your teeth, whatever is a rule as well. Going out, when you putting your clothes on, you iron the clothes first, oh bhi rule hai. Like if you're making roti, you know, you don't like put the atta just straight onto the tawa, do you? You have to put water in and gond the atta first. Oh, we rule, yeah. Like one point is that there's a rule for everything, right? Even our lives, we've got rules for everything, practical rules. We just got to look closely at what rules we're following.
Yeah, can I add? I mean, okay, if you stop following the rule of washing your hands with the soap these days, figure out what happens.
But yeah, like you're right. It's like everything has a rule. Jad jaan pyari hundi hai, then we'll follow every rule. That's the key, actually. When we feel that we're in control of the swas in our body, until that moment, we won't do any nitnem. But the moment that we start thinking about the swas in my body, the halat of my health, my body is nothing to do with me. It's like Maharaj has sent this disease around the world. That could come into anyone, anytime through the air. But when we lose the fear, when we lose that fear, then we're not worried. Then we're thinking, oh, why has everything got rules? But actually, when we start looking at the fear, when we start developing that fear for Vaheguru and that other Bansatkar, then we actually start living in the rules, thinking, okay, it's all right. But actually, the bliss that you get from the rules is massive as well. Just so that we understand, when the Siddhs asked the question, Japji Sahib, the Siddhs were very highly spiritual beings that Guru Nanak Dev Ji would converse with over several different places. And one place, when the Siddhs asked Maharaj, they said, we've heard about the greatness of Vaheguru and his hukam. We've understood that like no one can sing his praises, the third party, Gawe Kotan, Huve Ki Satan. No one can sing his praises is enough. But then, like, what should we put forward to Maharaj as a gift so that we can see him, so we can experience him? They said, Fir ke agge rakhiye jit sa darbar, moho ke bolan boliye jit sun tare pyar. What should we gather together? Fir ke agge rakhiye, ki ਅਸੀਂ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਰੱਖੀਏ in front of Maharaj, Vaheguru, that they would be happy with us. Then, moho ke bolan boliye jit sun tare pyar. What should we say with our mouths that might please Vaheguru? So when you know, like when a guest comes to our home, ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਖਾਣਾ ਪਰੋਸਦੇ and we make nice food for them, then we don't just put it in front of them, do we? And expect them to, we say, alo Maharaj Chako, alo ji, you know, like please taste karo, kana vadiya lagda. And like you add the politeness with it as well. In a similar way, the Siddh asked that question to Maharaj. Then Maharaj gave the knowledge, Amrita Vela Sach Nao Vadeyai Vichar. The rule is of Akal Pur Vaheguru. Amrita Vela Sach Nao Vadeyai Vichar. Okay, there's one meaning for those people who are in love with Vaheguru or really want to develop that love. Then in the ambrosial hours, in those hours before sunrise, arise and read that Bani. So the gathering is basically the motivation, the uddam to get up at that time. And then from your mouths, you praise Vaheguru. Yeah. So we gather in the Amrit Vela, the motivation to get up and then to place the praise in front. That's one meaning of, but if we want to take it a bit easier for ourselves, then we've got to understand that Amrit Vela is the actual moment that you recite Bani, and that can be any time. That can be any time. ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੁਣ shift ਤੇ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, those people who are doing shift work, ਉਹ ਜਦ shift ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, when do they do their nitnem? When did they do their Japji Sahib? When did they do their Aras? It's not going to fit in with the traditional thought. So they're maybe getting up maybe at night at 11 o'clock and then going work or something. Their Amrit Vela is the moment they speak that Bani. Amrit Vela is also the moment when we do darshan of Guru Sahib Ji. Amrit Vela, these are the arths that are given by Mahapurkh on Amrit Vela itself. Amrit Vela is also death, because when we die, we're going to move on to another life, a new chance, another immaculate time. Birth is also Amrit Vela as well. This life, being born in this life, is Amrit Vela as well. These are all different arts of Amrit Vela. But for our purposes, and for the Siddh's purposes, the moment that we start to recite Bani, or Amrit Vela hi gini hai, for our purposes. Make it as simple for ourselves as possible. And then start holi. When your mind will automatically tell you itself when you're ready to do the next Bani. There was a Mahapurush called Sangat Singh Rampur Khedewale. This is from that Granth called Se Kaneha. And from what I remember, they never used to do Jab Sahib in their Nitnem because they found it too hard. They found it too toiling to do. So what they did, they would do Japji Sahib, do the rest of the Nitnem, but would leave Jab Sahib out because they found it too difficult. And then after a while, because their bhajan was really high, their simran was very high, and perhaps because they had so much kamai built up from past janams as well, they then did ardas. They didn't do ardas. They were doing nitnem, and after finishing the nitnem, they did ardas. And at that time, they heard like horses, the hooves of horses outside the door. They went outside to look, and they saw Guru Sahib had just gone past. They glanced at him, but they didn't say anything to him. They just went past. And then the other Singhs with Maharaj, Guru Gobind Singh Ji. So he got darshan of Guru Gobind Singh Ji and all the Shaheed Singhs and with Maharaj. And then the other Singh, as they went past, Santanam Singh Ji said, why is it that Guru Sahib hasn't spoken to me, has not given me any acknowledgement apart from just glanced? I said, Fateh. And then that Sikh replied, Ki Pai tu Jab Sahib ni nitnem chi karda. So the moment you do Jab Sahib, it's acknowledgement that Japji Sahib jab paran lag gaye, I think Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj is going to be seen right in front of me. I'm going to sana the Japji Sahib to them. Maybe Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji Maharaj are going to be listening to 3 Baniya in front of me. And then Guru Amar Das Ji Maharaj is going to come and listen to Bani. It's like the Pavana in our hearts is what counts. When I say Pavana, the kind of like devotion or the faith that Guru Sahib is listening to us. And we also remember stated, if whoever asked this question maybe joined late, we mentioned that Sant Atar Singh Ji Mastawani used to say that if you feel lazy or your mind is at a block, then listen to Slok Mala Nama Bani. Either listen to it or read it, and it will start lifting us from that blockage, that motivators.
Yeah, that's
so. Yeah, hopefully that answered that question.
No, very beautiful way to look at it, Paji. Because I mean, when we ask this question these days, I mean, I have been through that phase as well. When you think that these rules are strict, but another way to look at it is why are we in this age? Like we have come to a point when we question the maryada, which is got to be followed, which is fine. I mean, but that's why we are here, and that's why Bani says, "Hoye katar milo mere bhai, dubida dur karo liblai." And if we ask questions, we learn what's the right way to do it. And just about to go towards the end of this live, and we are able to take only one more question, and it's the apt one to end this, and a very clever one, Paji, because after you mentioned about movies, so someone has asked, what is your favorite non-Sikh movie?
Funnily enough, I really like the animations, like animated movies, and generally, I used to like Up. I thought Up was a good movie. But like in terms of like jung scenes and stuff like that, obviously you can't beat Lord of the Rings or even Chronicles of Narnia type stuff. Or like you can't beat those kind of films, you know, where there's junk scenes in them. 300 is another good one. But like, obviously, you know, like as Gursikhi, you decipher things in a positive way, you know, more in a positive way. Films that add kind of value to your sochini. There's one film which is quite powerful as such, I suppose. Is a recent one where I saw. I think it's called. It's about I've forgotten the name of it now. Something forward something. I can't remember what it is. Pass it forward, maybe it's called. It's not an animation. It's about doing random acts of kindness. Like
Pay it forward.
You do three. Pay it forward. That's the one. I've seen it a long time ago. I love films, obviously, that kind of reminds you about Gursikhi and Gursik values. Pay it forward, and that's what it is.
Yeah, that's the key. Like we were discussing, once you have those Sikhi values, that foundation of Sikhi values, you look at everything around you with that viewpoint, and then you will find the beauty of it in the Sikhi way. Right. So that's, I mean, yeah, with that note, we have to wrap this up. And I would say a lot of thanks to everyone who joined. And please tune in tomorrow, same time, 7:30 p.m. for Charanveer Singh, who will be discussing about the historical figures from Shri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Why is this so important for us to know? There are so many references from the Indian history, which we normally don't talk about. So it's key to understanding Gurbani. Each word brings in a lot of history behind them. So tune in tomorrow to see what's up. And then on Wednesday we have Dilraj Singh from London joining to share his journey into Sikhi. And then we have some baking tips and cake decoration session from Tajinder Kaur.
I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah. And the last one on Friday is from Amritpal Penji, sharing some home learning tips, hot topic these days. With that, a big thanks to everyone, and a bigger thanks to Kuljit Paji for, I know it's late there. What's the time, Paji, in India?
It's about 11 o'clock. Chronicles of Narnia. Wow. Can't go wrong.
Right. So
just one. There's somebody who joined really late. I'm going to say one more thing. If this is like this is a box of karam called Sanchit Karam. Before we're born, these are all our karam in here. They're falling out. See them? And Maharaj will take something from that box and then put it into our life. And they can pick anything at random from that box. And there was a question about Nityanem, wasn't there? Yeah. We haven't got power to change the karam that are coming, that are already been planted in our life. We can change the effect of it, but we can't change the karam. The karam is going to exist. But one thing that we should remember, and perhaps this will take away the laziness in our minds when it comes to Nityanem maybe, is that our jada box that is with Vaheguru, the Sanchit Karam, these karams can be deleted. And when we do our Nityanem, the power of our Nityanem is, Bani is, that when we recite Nityanem, our jade karam